to day 6 of this 7-day tournament of the 2024 AVC Challenge Cup for women, and we are back after a one-day break. We're back here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. You're looking at the defending champions unloading from their bus, and they're ready to unload on the court against the tallest team here in the last 4 in the semifinals. Talking about Team Australia, the number 56th ranked team in the world. Right inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, we are getting ready for match number 23. Officially, this is match number 23. That is a doubleheader that we had. Those are the results that we had earlier today. So we get into the Final Four. It is a knockout crossover semifinals. And before we get to the Philippines-Kazakhstan match later on, we have Australia against the aforementioned defending champion, Vietnam. Boom Gonzalez, Coach Ronnie Magsanok on the Pilipinas Live app on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Penultimate day of the competition, Coach Ronnie.
And with only 2 play dates remaining, today is going to be the day that we will figure who will make it to the finals. Of course, the initial part of our Final Four will feature last year's champion, the title holders, which is Vietnam, an 11-time Southeast Asian Games silver medalist and also a 4th place team in the most recent Asian Games last 2022. While on the flip side, last year 6th place team, Team Australia, the Valeroos, able to hurdle big roadblock and now are only a win away from making it to the finals.
All right, speaking of wins, let's focus our attention on the defending champions who beat the hosts last year, Indonesia, to become the defending champions of the AVC 2024 Challenge Cup for women. No loss here in the tournament so far for Team Vietnam, looking good even with some of their players not playing.
And that's the MVP last year and the best open hitter in T4. Not seeing action yet,
right.
But they are bannered, of course, by last year's best middle blocker, last year's best setter, and with Nguyen Thuyen continuing to be one of the best attackers here. Vietnam continues to be the team to beat and is the gold standard here in the Challenge Cup.
As we mentioned, only one of 2 teams that are undefeated here in the semifinals, the Philippines being the number 1 team on the other side of the pool. Now they go up against an Australian team which is at 3-1 after pool play and coming from an emotional and dramatic win against Iran.
Back-to-back wins against India and Iran, both matches going 4 sets. If Vietnam is the best attacking team, then Australia is the best blocking team. And heading into this match, a total of nearly 60 blocks in 4 games played, with 3 of those 4 games won. And bannering this team, of course, is ace playmaker Michaela Stevens and their number 1 scorer and Kate Tipping. And of course, the best blocker right now in the competition in Casidad. Of course, they're going to be led as well by Emma Burton, who has since made a comeback after a reconstructive ankle surgery and now has emerged to be the 2nd leading scorer for the Valeroos.
All right, Coach Ronnie, let's go back to the defending champions coming into the semifinals undefeated. As I mentioned, who stood out in pool play for them?
Well, in every match, there has been a different scoring leader, except for Thuyen Nguyen, who led the team in scoring in at least 2 of the first 4 wins. Number 3 among the top scorers with 64 points fired in 4 matches, punctuated by a 30-point game versus Kazakhstan, 11 points versus Hong Kong, 13 versus Singapore, 30 versus Kazakhstan, and 10 in that 4-set win versus Indonesia. Those numbers may not be the perfect illustration on how good she can be, because right now she's going to be the top call for Vietnam as they try to bid for another final seat.
Questions about injuries coming into this
Of
match,
course.
which we will answer a little later on, but let's focus our attention on the Australian team who come into the semifinals 3-1 and fantastic game for Caitlin Tipping the last time out, but it was not just the last time out. She has been fantastic in pool play.
Right, 21 points versus Chinese Taipei, only 9 versus the Philippines, 27 versus India, 34 versus
That's the
Iran.
big one, yeah.
That's the single best offensive surge throughout the competition. 91 points to emerge as the number 1 scorer so far heading into this match. And you know what? Caitlin Tipping has traversed all the age groups for Australia dating back 8 years ago. Under 17, under 19, under 21, under 23, 8 years in the national team. Tunnel vision is to make it to the 2032 Brisbane Olympics. And that's going to be top of mind. As
for her.
That is the main reason why Coach Russell has taken on under his wings the rest of the Valeroos over the course of the last 8 years and heading into the pathway of the next 8 years.
Very emotional in the last game against Iran in her interview at the end. as they make the semifinals. As Coach Ronnie mentioned, one win will catapult you to the gold medal match. The loser goes down to the bronze medal match. The other bracket, of course, will be Philippines and Kazakhstan. That will be at 7 p.m. tonight here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. But before that big one...
Fans, are you ready? We are here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum for your Asian Women's Volleyball Challenge Cup 2024. This is the semifinals showdown between two best teams. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Vietnam and Australia. Let us meet the international referees for this match. Our first referee, AUS Akhmetov of Kazakhstan. And our second referee, Mahendra Singh Saharan of India. With the chickens under the net, our semifinals match is underway. And now let us meet the starting lineup for both teams, starting with Vietnam. At number 8, Lê Thanh Thuy. At number 10, Nguyen Thi Vich Chillian. At number 11, Wan Thi Kieu Trinh. At number 14, Vo Thi Kim Tua. At number 15, Nguyen Thi Tre. At number 20, Tran Tu Ling. And the starting libero, number 12, Nguyen Can Dan. And the head coach of Vietnam, Nguyen Tuan Kiet. And now for Australia. At number 3, the captain, Michaela Stevens. At number 4, Caitlin Tippy. At number 9, Emma Burton. At number 11, Cassie Dawn. At number 23, Ella Shepard. At number 25, Kara Skip. And the starting libero, number 8, Alicia Sims. And the head coach of Australia, Russell Borjo.
Here you go, the starting lineup for Team Vietnam. And at 4-0 here in the tournament, going into the semifinals. 3-1 for Team Australia, who have, understandably so, Coach Ronnie, gained a lot of fans and fanatics here in the Philippines. They have a contingent that brings a flag
every time
during the competition.
I believe they're right in front of us, right?
Yes.
Rightfully so. Getting the adulation, of course, of the home crowd simply because of the kind of play that they have delivered. And likewise, with the demeanor that their coach has. Coach Russell was a 3-time Olympian coach.
And we've seen him before also.
Yes, of
diba?
course, of course.
If you follow international volleyball, a lot of familiar faces, of course.
True.
With both teams, Vietnam and Australia. 3 teams of the 4 teams are not a surprise here in the semifinals, Coach Ronnie. They're expected to be here. The Philippines, of course, being the home team, is a pleasant surprise to the home crowd, and that will be handled a little later on. But the first point going to Team Australia.
And Alas Pilipinas will be the first local team to make it to the semifinals in any AVC competition. And it's all about chasing history right now.
They're trying to be greedy.
Yes,
and,
why not?
More history.
But of course, first things first, we take care of business for the right to nail the first seat in the finals.
For Vietnam, this is also historic if they want to go back-to-back, Coach Ronnie.
Never been done yet. And you know what? This is the final edition of the Challenge Cup, by the way, because the FIVB has restructured the qualification for the VNL starting 2026. Of course, the winner here gets the chance to play in the Challenger Cup, which will be held in Manila by July.
Yes.
And then the winner in the Challenger Cup plays in the VNL of 2025.
calendar is set, and that's what we are also working for and working around, as the blocking of Australia, as Coach Ronnie mentioned, will be the number one weapon against Vietnam.
Exactly. 18 blocks versus Chinese Taipei. Only 12 versus the Philippines. 16 versus India. 12 versus Iran. That's why they are in the semis. As also take a look at Ella Shabord, another fine performer for Coach Russell throughout the Challenge Cup.
A giveaway. Stevens right on top of the net. And it is Cassie Dodd.
That is the number one blocker right now here in the Challenge Cup. Dodd, unbelievable performance in terms of blocking. And Dodd has also scored, I believe, 22, 35, 47 in 4 matches.
That's wide. So 3-2 early here. Of course, there's this question about the
T4?
center also of Vietnam.
Yeah, okay.
Đoàn Thi Lam O, if she will see action. Right now, it is Thi Kim Pua who is setting for Team Vietnam, as tipping
Right.
gets herself going here with a cross-court kill.
Plays in the Danish League and MVP as well in several club teams in Australia. And one of several players, at least 10 from Australia, seeing action overseas.
Another out-of-system play. Stevens trying to underhand this one. Vietnam on the counter. And that is a strong kill there by number 20, Tran Tu Lin.
That's last year's, one of the top players from last year's edition. Lin, 11 points versus Indonesia, 3 versus Kazakhstan, 4 versus Singapore, 9 versus Hong Kong.
Good first pass. And Stevens just leaves it up top of the net. And it's Inskip, another name that we've seen, another face that we've seen in international play.
Yes, also
for Team Australia.
a familiar face for Caitlin Tipping. Almost the same runway that they have taken in the course of playing in the
Yes.
last few years together.
Good dig. The tip. And unfortunately, Australia unable to get to that one. It wasn't really that sharp, but it was well placed for number 15, Yen Thi Tring.
Away from Caitlin Tipping, that's Trin, who's hardly played, by the way, in today's Challenge Cup edition, with only 9 points in 2 games, did not play in 2 matches. Really, floor defense has been a problem for Australia, and this is where the advantage lies for Vietnam. Their quickness, their multiple variations on offense, and their playing experience as well. Most of these players are veterans already of the Southeast Asian Games, of which they won the silver once again in the most recent edition.
Oh, what an angle for Kate. 23-year-old Caitlin Tipping.
And this is what opponents have done against the defense of Tuyen Nguyen. Attack him, make him receive as well, and try to force him to be a weak link defensively. Well, for Kate Tipping, 30 of 62 last time that they won against Iran just 2 nights ago.
Overcooks that one.
No doubt the heart and soul of the Belarus is Caitlin Tipping, while T. Ford, the most decorated, the most bemedaled athlete, the national team roster of Vietnam, continues to be a big question mark. But at least you are seeing her warm up for the first time.
Chance for Vietnam. Oh, look at that pull.
I've seen her play. I've seen her power. I've seen her force. Nobody scores 30 points and just be lucky. Superior talent, also an MVP in the local league in Vietnam.
Good first pass. Good slide. Yen was there, but could not keep it in play. So we are crawling in this first set, crawling in a good way.
As expected.
The exchange,
Yes.
1 point.
For Australia, almost every match has gone 4 sets, while for Vietnam, three sweeps and of course a 4-set of a win versus Indonesia just 2 days ago.
Good block. Good read. Team Australia surges ahead 8-7.
That's the first and certainly not the last for the number 1 blocking team right now. And that's why for the secondary playmaker of Vietnam, she has to be creative because that is really where the strength lies for the Balleroos.
Good sharp serve. Combination play. Another block straight from Team Australia. Back to back. 9-7 for the Balleroos.
That's the lifeline of the Balleroos. Defend at the net and protect their floor defense because sometimes that tends to be an issue for Australia. 3 kill blocks so far in set 1.
Another block, but this one's a hit out.
Off the block point coming from Nguyen. Thuyen Nguyen scoring her second point. 4 points already?
4 points already.
Wow, getting majority of the touches. And you can see the reason why. Top of mind, Raider defensively of the yellow shirts, of course, centering on Thuyen Nguyen.
Of course, Coach Russell knew that that's going to be the case.
And especially by now, as you pointed out, game number 23 already. Teams are more familiar with one another. Incidentally, after giving up the services, the Balleroos have flown in 10 of its 10 former players from last year's lineup. That's why they said that experience was really the best teacher for them en route to this spot here in the semis.
Right, they want to keep themselves intact as they progress
Yes.
to different tournaments,
Correct.
which is really the idea, Coach Ronnie. Ideal for any national team of any sport,
And
any team sport.
And that's why Chinese Taipei has flown in their under-20
Correct.
team. Hong Kong also in Singapore have paraded a young team. Likewise,
Right,
the Philippine team.
right? So that's what they're looking at the long goal.
The long haul
Yeah.
and of course targeting several international competitions as a possible runway. And this is of course the launch pad.
Speaking of the launch pad,
Woo! Deadly from the right flank. Lethal as well from the left wing. Yes, 2 nights ago, hardly played but still scored 10 points, especially when they needed a scoring burst in the 4th and final set versus Indonesia. 5 in the match for Thuyen Nguyen.
reverse, and a nice hit out there. The number 23, Ella Chabort, 19-year-old.
Ella Chabort, only 19, so U20. A total of 44 points scored. 34 points scored in 4 matches for Ella Chabort.
And for Australia, you can see, Coach Ronnie, the mix. You have, the 23-year-olds, the 26-year-olds.
Right.
And then you have the 25-year-olds, and then the 18, 19-year-olds.
Yes.
And, of course, Caitlin Tipping is right in the middle of that.
And you know why? It's because several key fixtures in the national pool are abroad.
Yeah.
Playing in professional leagues all over the world.
But also, they're looking for transition of talent,
Correct,
right?
correct.
As the others age, they develop
You
the
keep
younger
the wheel
ones.
going.
Another check there at the net by Team Australia. Nobody taking the second ball. Communication problems for Tim Kim Tua.
This is a perennial powerhouse in the Southeast Asian region. They have to be better with their coverage against a very good blocking team. 5 kill blocks here in the opening set here for Australia.
Nhưng bọn em đều từ nhất là người truyền 2, truyền xong là bọn em thôi. Bọn em phải đi hiểm hộ. Phải hiểm hộ mới lấy được cái tinh thần. Thứ hai chuẩn bị làm cái nhịp quả thứ hai đi, bọn em cứ truyền xong cái bọn em thôi. Chưa có gì cả. Tập trung vào truyền đơn giản như thế không đánh được. Nhá.
Biggest lead of either team here right now at 13-10. Watching the first semifinal matchup. Doubleheader. Semifinal doubleheader, of course, here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. And Chabort sending it out.
And so far, 5 of the first 13 points of the Belarus have come from kill blocks, where Tuyen Nguyen has scored 5 points.
That's going to drop in.
Oh, second service ace of the set here. And again, this was a problem for Australia against the Philippines, wherein the Philippines, I believe, scored at least 9 aces against them.
Yes.
Something that they have to address against a hot serving team in Vietnam.
So Ella Shabert will move out. And it is Caitlin Wincup coming in for Team Australia. Another ace.
And again, familiarity with its opponent. Relying on the first line of offense. Straight points here for Vietnam.
Yeah, that 3-0 lead after the timeout, 3-0 run. 4 aces so far. Better pass there. Good dig. And a chance ball that will barely make it. Stevens tipping very smart on the hit out.
It doesn't have to be with much force. This time going off speed. Beating the double block. Tipping with at least 4 first set points. Coming off a 34-point performance in that crucial 4-set win versus Iran.
Tipping with a one-hand dig. Cross-court kill. Emma Burton puts it away.
Was out of commission last year. Hurt his ankle, had to do reconstructive surgery, but now he's back. And Emma Burton, I believe, is in the top 10 in scoring, and to be exact, Emma Burton is number 9 with 55 points so far fired for Australia in 4 games.
Right in the middle, Stevens was there to pick up. That's over the block. Ooh, it is out. I thought it dropped in. No.
Called in.
Yeah,
block
our
touch.
up referee, Aidos Akhmetov.
This will be challenged.
It's a block touch. So, Team Vietnam, understandably so, and predictably so,
automatic.
will call the challenge here.
The best attacking team, Vietnam, against the number 1 blocking team in Australia.
Great matchup. I think our semifinal matchups are actually very juicy and very mouth-watering. Kazakhstan, of course, has very good history in their favor against
that is
Philippines.
The highest seeded team.
Correct.
On the 10 teams that have participated here in only the 3rd edition.
Right now at 32, sitting at 32.
Right.
The Philippines, of course, have climbed throughout the tournament, and then same for Vietnam and Australia. Good attacking team versus a good blocking team, as you mentioned. So very different volleyball styles, but very interesting from a viewer's or an audience standpoint.
Yes, clearly the contrast is visible, and it's also the same case when the Philippines, or in the last Pilipinas, is action against Kazakhstan.
Right.
A better blocking team against a quick team. It's all about mobility and explosiveness in terms of attacking for the Philippines.
There's no block touch. So, point will be given to Team Vietnam. And if I'm not mistaken, let's wait for the official score. I think they take the lead here. Again. Challenged by the defending champions. 16-13, Australia recovering. Sorry, 15-13. That's the official score now. On your screens, 15-14.
Make that 16-14 after that attack error. Coming from Vietnam. 2-point lead for Australia. Lead earlier to the 3 points for the Belarus.
Burton with a jump serve. Short slide and a very low set, but a perfectly executed one for Nguyen Thi Trinh.
A very good receiving team, really. And it's also a nice face-off between these two excellent liberos, Dang from Vietnam and Sims for Australia. Still no sign of T4. Australia ahead, but only by 1. This is also what I saw Vietnam against Indonesia, the continuous shuffling of personnel. For other teams, they stick to a 6 to 7 rotation.
I think
but for Vietnam, a lot.
Yeah, I think I also I watched that match and I realized that Vietnam shuffled their lineup the most against Indonesia, maybe
Correct.
also because they were safely in the semifinals already. And they wanted to experiment on their
And
line.
likewise, that is what coaches are able to do, misdirect their opponents
Yeah.
in terms of scouting.
That's a good thing when you win the earlier
You have
games
that
in pool
option,
play.
correct.
All right, we got another timeout here. Australia's lead has vanished again, 16 all.
That's all right. Anyway, I like that, guys. I like the way we're being aggressive with it. All right, we've got to do that. Maybe at times it's going to cost us 1 or 2 errors, but stay confident in what you're doing. Okay, the blocking, like I said, is amazing. Out here, we can probably just go a fraction more across, dropping that right hand in on it. Okay, both the slide and number 10. 6, stay a little deeper in the seat. We'll make some big sets. Here we go.
Yes!
Team Australia calling that timeout. Had the biggest lead of 3 earlier, a couple of times already here in the first set. But Team Vietnam will not go away. And now, it is Tran Tu Ly. Tipping. Counter here. And a cross-court kill for Yen Bich Tuyen.
She can take over when she wants to. And it's a big challenge right now for Australia to really keep an eye on Tuyen. And even if it's the secondary setter playing for Vietnam, their offense continues to be in full throttle and down. It's a 4-point swing, taking over the league. Again, 4 service aces, reception problems. 3-point lead has turned to a 2-point deficit for Australia.
Unorthodox serve there. So hard to read.
But you can see those serves are directed, are targeted, identifying the weak link in terms of reception for the Volleyroos.
Tran Tu Ly continues to be on tap. This time, short serve. When everybody went back, including all the sweepers, Lin decides to give a short ball right in the donut hole. That really surprised Elisha Sims.
The second leading scorer in that win versus Indonesia with 11 points.
The lead is 3 now for the first time for Vietnam, cut to 2.
That is a 6-point turnaround earlier. Down 3, then up 3. As Caitlin Tipping was also been on fire from the service line in the last 2 games. Prepares for Australia.
Good first ball by Vietnam. Just that swing of Tuyen. Lethal.
To say the least. Makes it look so simple, really. Again, can hurt you from both flanks.
Run and gun. Coverage. Trying to go over the block. And an attack error from Team Vietnam. The lead will be down to 2.
Only the second miss of the first set for Tuyen Nguyen.
So that's 2018 actually is the official score. And skip. Out of system and a giveaway to the Volleyroos. What will Stevens do? Shabert. Of course they go to Tuyen. Coverage was there. Stevens underhands it to Tipping from behind. Easy pickings here for Vietnam. Back to the well. And the well with a headshot.
And they will continue to milk Tuyen Nguyen for as long as she is in the front line. Down 3, up 3 once again. To the open. Line shot, headshot, facial. But what hurts more is that they're behind by 3. After being ahead by as much as 3.
So Votim Kim Toa with a 3-point lead. So great misdirection play there. Great aggressive run by Cassie Dodd, ending up with the back row opposite attack.
Coming from Caitlin Tipping. Very important to have that middle really extracting at least a single blocker. Set on the line, you go to your top player, and that's Caitlin Tipping here for Australia.
19 serving 21. Back to Tuyen. Puts it away.
Sims is right there. Chabort as well, also trying to establish the two-man wall. But look how clean this hit comes from Tuyen Nguyen. Away from the libero. And look how fast the ball will bullet down.
Oh, nobody getting the second ball.
Another service ace, 6 in the set for Vietnam. The biggest weapon that they've had aside from Tuyen Nguyen, who's close to 10 points already right here in the very first set.
The Valeroos have to call this timeout.
Just take our time, make sure we organise well, stand a little shorter if needed. You can always open up for the higher ones. After that, on 10, yeah, if it's tight, of course you've got to go the ball, but otherwise we're just taking cross. From here, it's still that point-by-point focus, right? Okay, so one side out here, and then really target in on our serve. Okay, if you can get 10, get her. Otherwise, let's get down to 1-2. Here we go.
Yes!
Here we go.
Ever positive Coach Russell as you look at the Australian contingent in attendance here as the crowd thickens in anticipation for not just the second game but probably the wind-up of this game. They know it's going to be hotly contested. That place in the gold medal match. Jump set. Open spot. And the Valeroos again slow on their foot as now 5 set points for Team Vietnam.
And you see the value of Dang. Really making sure that they put pressure that jump set coming from the libero. And then the rolling hit to find the opening. 5 set points after being behind by 3 points at 13-10 earlier.
1 set point save. It is Dodd getting it on top of the net.
And Australia dodging a bullet. Stopping a scoring surge here for Vietnam. Asdad, who has fired 47 points heading to this game, scores her second point of the set.
Good serve. Dropping in the last second right at that donut hole.
That's a rare service ace given up by Dang, who's always been very solid in terms of first ball. That was directed at her, but not there at the right time.
2 set point save. So timeout, Coach or Team Vietnam.
Bay chồng sau, Tuyền. Bay chồng sau là em vẫn hạ sau số 2 đi nhá. Hạ sau giữ nguyên số 2 nhá. Có cái là bọn em phải rẽ ra thôi. Liên tục.
So that is Coach Nguyen Tuan Kiet calling the timeout as he has lost 2 set points. But still with a 3-point lead. A bit comfortable here. And Australia, no room for errors. Very good first ball that time. And that's it for Team Vietnam. It is Tran Tu Lin with a kill shot for set number 1. And they are 2 sets away from getting back into the gold medal match. Team Australia with a 3-point lead earlier, lost it. So now they will have to dig and gut from behind. We will be back with more of the AVC Challenge Cup for women. Inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum as Team Vietnam gets its noses ahead in this competition, in this first of 2 semifinal matches for today, Tuesday, here in Manila, Philippines. Team Australia with a great start, able to maintain their distance, able to maintain a 2-point lead, losing it, 3-point lead, lost it, and then midway, Coach Juani, what happened?
At 13-10, suddenly the reception turned from bad to worse, and that was a key element for Vietnam's comeback. But the attack points, Australia had already 10 attack points by the 15-minute mark, and the blocking of Australia, which read about 3 already in the first 10 points, suddenly disappeared. And that's a tribute also to the playmaker of Vietnam. And then the hitting skills of the number 1 team last year, especially Thuyen Nguyen, was able to escape from the claws of that tremendous blocking effort for the yellow shirts.
Making it look easy.
Yes, and when your blocking is not there and your floor defense is suspect, chances are you will not be able to keep that ball in play and counter in transition. And that is exactly the reason why Vietnam caught up in terms of attack points. And look at how many aces Australia gave up. 7 aces to Vietnam. They had one late in the set, but definitely that was not enough, as Vietnam had 5 set points at 24-19 at one instance.
And there was one, Coach Ronnie, that 3 straight points, 3 set.
That's too tough. That's too tough.
Aces
in
at the crucial point.
That's too tough. That's too much. At most, you want to give up a 2-point run, but never a 5-point surge.
So here we go, set number 2 for this crossover knockout semifinal match between Team Australia, Team Vietnam. And the first point goes to the Volleyroos, courtesy of an infraction at the net for Team Vietnam.
Cassie, that was right there for that gift point, but instead a violation called against the blue shirts as Captain Michaela Stevens is on deck.
Good pass, setting up Thuyen.
How do you stop Thuyen Nguyen? Had 30 points already. 64 points in 4 games. That's in the top 10. Number 3 to be exact.
Lethal server too. Look at that, out of system for Australia, so a giveaway. Lin gets it through the block. Good reaction by Team Australia to keep it alive. Vietnam. Lin again with a block breaker.
Lin is only 25 years old. As we mentioned earlier, total of 37 points in 4 games. That is what Vietnam has done so far. Make the defense guess whom they will go to. Of course, Thuyen Nguyen will get majority of the touches, but the other players also very little when you give them their shots.
From the right side, from the right pin. And Vietnam is now looking comfortable.
Well, they've been able to elude the block defense, really, the blocking of Australia. One from the left flank, the other from the right wing. Even without T4, Vietnam continues to be the number 1 offensive team right now in terms of attack percentage all throughout the Challenge Cup.
I think that's also the reason why they are not risking D4 also. I feel like they're confident enough to handle the competition, and so far so good in the second set. 4-1, a 4-0 run, and Team Australia sues for time.
Points are gone, so no point worrying about it. Let's must make sure we've got the court covered well. I know we're not all super confident right now on their pass. That's okay. That's kind of normal. But what I'm asking from you is just get in a position where we can keep it high on our side somewhere. All right. After that, back our attack. All right. We're strong attackers. Come on. Here we go.
Yes!
4-1, 4-0 run by Team Vietnam against Team Australia. An early timeout by Coach Russell.
And something has to change for them, especially defensively. Reception has to be better. Offense has almost disappeared simply because they cannot get that ball in play.
Checked at the net. Underhand set. And another point for that 5-0 run by Team Vietnam continues. After getting the first point, Australia has been blanked.
And that first point came off an infraction by Vietnam.
Correct. So they haven't earned a point yet.
No offense yet. Not in this set.
Delayed by the block. The tip. Chance ball for Team Vietnam. Back set
Wow.
on an easy off-speed attack by Huang TQ Trin.
Almost explosive slide plays. Open hitter, opposite hitter. Not even activating the middle blockers. That's a big challenge for Australia. What part of the court to guard? Is it the right wing? Is it the left flank?
Another out-of-system play while Vietnam continues to be in system.
That's the middle blocker at work. Excellent setting here for Vietnam, really. That's player number 14, not even last year's reigning best setter, yet she has gotten the job done. Player number 14, that's Vo.
Yeah, because the injury to their starting setter, as I mentioned earlier, si Lam On sprained her ankle prior to the Indonesia game.
That is player number 19, Lamang, was there cheering every point.
Yep.
And this is a big juggernaut here to open up set number 2.
8-0
In contrast to what we saw in set 1.
Finally, a point to break and stop the bleeding.
8-point run. First attack point. 8-point run earlier by Australia. First attack point from the left wing. Left pin.
If Vietnam makes it to the final, Coach Ronnie, you think T4 is going to play in the final?
I don't think so, because even before playing in, I read somewhere that her team was dethroned already in Vietnam and that she was not able to see action prior to joining this national team head to Manila. But let's see. It's one the fans really want to see up close.
Yeah, because you know, like we've been saying, these volleyball fans follow the international
True,
leagues.
true.
They know who the players are, whether it's Australia, Vietnam, and now they're finding out new players in Chinese Taipei, whose average age was 17, a little under 18.
Chinese Taipei, U20.
Yeah. Nice set there.
And you know what I really like about this venue? We've seen these players already from different venues, but this venue gives you a very good visual of the players because you're so close to them.
There's a lot of history in this venue, as you well know.
I
Coach
love
Ronnie.
this venue, really.
Yeah.
Brings
You have
back a lot of good memories.
You have a lot of personal memories here. In the meantime, Australia and Vietnam trying to create memories here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, but in that department, Vietnam is looking to forge on into the gold medal match.
Correct. For the second year in a row. Vietnam won last year, defeated Indonesia in 5 sets in Indonesia's home soil. Tipping finally scores once again. The number 1 scorer throughout the competition among all countries.
Finally a block there by Team Australia.
First in the set. And that's the first 2-point run here for Australia after an 8-1 count.
It's number 20. Cameron Zaire coming in
Sager.
for Team
That's Sager, yes. One of their newcomers. That's good defense for down. No second ball. Good scoring run here for Australia. Down at 8-1 earlier. Since that time, this is their own version of a 5-2 counter. Punctuated by 3 straight here.
3-0 run.
Oh,
Better
nice
blocking there.
And if there's someone who can pump life to Australia, it has to be Caitlin Tipping, either with her attacks, with her blocking, and of course from the service line as well. Down 8-1 now, just behind by 3 at 10-7.
Back set. The run continues for the Volleyroos.
We asked the question earlier, can they defend the right and the left flanks? Now, they've answered that question. Yes, they can. And that's their big answer to that hot service coming from, or service efficiency coming from Vietnam.
Nhớ nó phát nữa ở một này truyền cặp lên mạnh xấu lên. Ngồi lên em ơi, ngồi lên, ngồi lên.
So, 7-point lead, the biggest here in the second set.
At
Looks
8-1.
like Vietnam was going to cruise into a 2-0 early
Set
lead here,
lead,
set
right.
lead, but Australia not backing down, finding a little rhythm.
Using their blocking once again to get back in the hunt. And at least 3 blocks here in the set for them. Woo! So where did they go to? A first back rope execution at that pipe. And who delivers? Tuyen Nguyen. Again.
Makes it look so slow on the approach, like deliberate, but it's that contact on the swing right after that really burns that ball.
And that contact has been consistent all competition long.
The push, the save, Lin denied, but it is a hit out. So good recovery here by Team Vietnam and a 2-0 run after the timeout.
It was just a 2-point lead. Now it's back to a 4-point cushion. This time scoring off the block.
Tipping trying to go for the swipe, and she does. Right, painting the line. Aidos Akhmetov, our Kazakhstan up referee, right on top of that play.
94 points in 4 games. Close to 25 per match. 34 points in their last win.
Little piston play going there, and a scrape of the net
touch
by the captain.
Only 6 errors in set 1 for Australia, but some of them were vital, especially in that first set pull away coming from Vietnam. We're down by 3, but eventually led by as much as 6 in a 9-point turnaround to win set 1 at 25-21.
Another reception error and another chance to convert here. They go to their go-to. Massive swing.
You think?
5-point lead.
Continues to punish the defense of Australia. 3 straight points here for Vietnam. Coach Russell has seen enough. He calls ceasefire here in set 2.
Go there and hold it. It's going to be a hard hit, but we can dig those, all right? No worries. Anyway, next one. Keep working on the pass. Hold our balance, all right, and then read and react. Keep it up high. After that, we prove we can fight back well, but we've got to start this now, okay? Here we go, guys. Come on. Yeah.
5-point lead by Team Australia. Look at this sequence. Loose block, but it didn't matter because he was delivering from the top. Tuyen Nguyen. Another save here by Team Australia out of system. And she continues to score. 15-9. It's like an automatic point already for Tuyen Nguyen. And Lin continues to serve for Team Vietnam, who have completely recovered with a 6-point lead again. Tipping with the answer.
That's the saving grace really of Australia,
no.
but that will be called out.
Out.
There'll be a challenge.
Wide.
That's a rare one coming from Coach Russell. I believe this is the first time I've seen Australia do so.
So it was called by our up referee Aidos Akhmetov from Kazakhstan. So I thought it painted the line, but we are right across where that action happened, so you'll never really know. There's only one way to find out.
That's the former team captain of the Australian men's volleyball team and a 3-time coach in the Olympics.
And had been a regular visitor to the Philippines.
Correct.
Well loved.
Yes, of course, with reason.
And I'm sure he's fallen in love with
That's what he said too, together
right?
with the rest of the Belarus.
Because of the following, because of the appreciation and the fan response, and this looks like it drops in.
That's
Painting the
the masterpiece,
line.
right? That's a masterpiece of Caitlin tipping, really. Those line shots coming off tips.
Boy, they needed that one, Coach Ronnie.
More than ever. As the lead once again has ballooned. Emma Burton is back. And Zamit sees action for the first time.
Alexia Zamit. And it is Cameron Zaire.
These are legit US NCAA Division I players trying to gain as much seasoning and experience in the US and other countries across the globe.
Tipping with a good serve. It's a great pass by Vietnam. Woo! And look at that swing.
That's not an ordinary swing. Without even exerting double effort.
Not an ordinary player too from
Yes.
Team Vietnam for sure.
Tipping.
First that, we gotta
Excellent first
appreciate
ball.
the
Yes.
good first pass there by Tu Lin. Who goes out to the bench right now for Team Vietnam. It is 16-10. This one is in again. One of the faster plays we've seen from Team Australia. Not their specialty.
That's a rare one. Seven was the biggest deficit earlier for Australia.
Then it was turned back into 6 again after the Vietnam timeout, and now it is down to 4.
Second uprising here in set number 2. With the new set of players, Coach Russell is hopeful that somehow things will change for the better in their bid to equalize in the set count at 1 set apiece.
16 serving 12. Oh, what a serve!
1 ace.
Skip, yeah, with a couple of aces.
1 ace in set 1, 2 aces now here in set 2. Suddenly, after being down by 6, they're back, just behind by 3.
Overpass, but a great reaction there
by the setter. Wow.
Oh, T. Kim Chua.
Talk about a big rescue here.
And that's just instinct. You knew it was an overpass. She already turned her back right away. Look at her reaction here. She knew it was over.
Look at how tall the attacker is. Another problem with the first ball.
Tuyen with another overpass there, which leads to the net infraction.
That's an overreach.
Yep, by the setter. Oh, Tim Kim Chua. Australia keeping themselves here, yeah. Ooh. Sends it to the net. Something they don't need.
Excellence from the service line was key as to how Australia was able to fight back and inch close. But that service error will hurt them at this stage because Vietnam now has 18 points.
From the back.
Slow
Off
down.
the deflection, yep. The swipe doesn't work. Australia scrambling, that's very tight. Saved by Vietnam. Opposite attack is rejected at the net.
Casidad once again, the #1 blocker here in the Challenge Cup. With over 30 blocks. In their first match, she had 10 of the 16 kill blocks of Australia. Continues to be the very best in that category.
Reverse set is good.
Many weapons. Back to the pin hitters once again. This time is Wong. Helping out Vietnam stay ahead. Scoreless versus Indonesia had 8 versus Kazakhstan. 9 versus Singapore and 2 points versus Hong Kong. Tipping again. The cross-court delivery.
Keeping them in play here. 3-point deficit for Tipping and the rest of the Volley Roos.
And you see how tall the libero is, the secondary libero, Sarah Burton is for Australia. That's a very tall libero, really. But Tipping says, not a problem. Give me my touches and we'll try to keep this set close.
Back row. Triple block. Left pin. Woo. And it is V Tin Nhu Kyum.
It's very hard to time your blocks against different types of attackers for Vietnam. Some will hit quick, some will hit really slow. You have to make your necessary adjustments to shadow and contain these multiple wing attackers for Vietnam.
And an ace for Vietnam to get them to 21-16 and a breathing room for the defending champions.
So much experience, really, just finding ways to stay ahead. That was Sager giving up that service ace to Vietnam.
The adjustment there and the miss set by Zamet. Zamet will try to underhand it here. Easy pickings for Vietnam, and they go to Thuyen. Doug open to Caitlin, and Caitlin is
miss.
wide.
Yes.
It did look wide.
Loves the line shot, really. But what about Emma Burton finally digging Thuyen Nguyen? That has been a missing link in the defensive arsenal of Australia. Against Thuyen Nguyen on your screens, who's been the #1 attacker here for Vietnam. #3 scorer, all competition long with 64 points fired, punctuated by a 30-point game versus Kazakhstan.
TQ3. Underhand by Stevens over the blockers. The tip. Still alive, still playable. There was no whistle. Vietnam thought there was. They started to celebrate. Now they can.
Well, you know what? Somebody was walking to the service line already. But there was no challenge and they kept playing on. And that's the good part. They played on.
Somebody was walking to the service line and the rest of the team actually turned around already.
Correct. And somebody kept that ball alive, leading to this point. So from a 19-16 count, this is a 4-point run.
We didn't see the sequence where they thought they won the point already, but they're 2 points away from a 2-sets-to-love lead.
Look at Dang once again with the pancake.
Return to sender this time in collaboration there was Cameron and Ella.
Ella Schabert. Yep. It's a double block with another point off their net defense.
It's Zaire who will be credited for that block, and she sends it to the net.
Remember earlier, the lead was just down to 2, then Emma Burton committed a service error. That led to a big scoring run here.
Very
a good
young,
finishing kick.
Very young 18-year-old Cameron Zaire with an expensive mistake from the service line. 7 set points for Vietnam. Saved by one, Michaela Stevens, the 26-year-old captain.
Earlier on serve for Vietnam was Quinn. What, 24 points in that 4-set win versus Indonesia 2 afternoons ago. 6 set points for Vietnam.
Ooh, service ace. Burning Vietnam there.
As you
Dan
can see,
just comes up with a smile.
looking at the line.
There's Coach Yen Tuan Kiet not gambling here. Call a timeout. Here's that nice serve by Tipping. Straight to the libero of Vietnam. It's been spectacular. Saving 1 set point out of the 7. But Thuyen will not be denied. And Vietnam will hold a 2-sets-to-love lead and are a set away from entering the gold medal match of your 2024 AVC Challenge Cup for women here in Manila, Philippines. We're back inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum for semifinal day. This is day number 6 of the 7-day tournament, the 2024 AVC Challenge Cup in Manila, Philippines. We are in the penultimate day, of course. Knockout crossover semifinals, and Vietnam is looking good. 2-0 against Team Australia here, and 2 convincing sets too, with some distance against the Volleyball. Whoever loses will go down to the bronze medal match and will await the loser of the Philippines-Kazakhstan game later on tonight.
Well, the difference was, in the first set, it was Australia who had an early lead before Vietnam turned it around with the high-octane offense deflating the effective blocking of Australia. But here in set 2, it was totally different. A dominant form for Vietnam, anchored on Nguyen Nguyen once again. But more than that, efficient from the service line, producing those number of aces once again. And even if Australia had one more, I believe that Vietnam's early surge to be on top at 8-1 was too much to overcome. They were able to keep the score close, but eventually Vietnam will find answers. And look at Vietnam committing only a single error in that set to win. That speaks volumes on the kind of experience that this team has, as they're the defending champions here in the Challenge Cup.
Very clean game so far for Team Vietnam to take a 2-0 lead. Remember, they are the defending champions of the tournament, beating the home team Indonesia in last year's AVC, wherein we placed 7th. The Philippines did,
and
in
Australia
that tournament.
ended up 6th.
6, correct. We're looking for Australia to have some sort of a response here. I'm sure the Philippine crowd here in the Rizal Memorial Coliseum would love to see a little more volleyball.
But they want a longer match,
right?
for sure.
Just like what they got from Australia and Iran when
Yes.
that was extended.
You know how engaged our crowd is every time. They love to see quality volleyball, really. Yes, and again, the home crowd, as we are slowly filling up the rafters.
So, of fans, officials, later on for sure, celebrities, Filipino
Of
celebrities,
course,
and
Philippine Sports
personalities.
Commission Chairman Dickie Bachman is also in the house.
I meant celebrity. That's what I meant, not sports official.
Oh, he's a celebrity.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. There you go. As always, a very positive Australian fan base here. And they are recruiting some of the Filipino fans to try to
Be on their side.
yes, so that they can extend this match, which they are very capable of. But Vietnam has been sharp, has been focused, and as we mentioned, has been very clean, especially in that second set.
You can see the execution, really, the teamwork, and the fine control, of course, by their secondary playmaker, who's playing as a primary setter right now for them, with last year's best setter still not being able to see action because of an ankle sprain. While on the flip side, Michaela Stevens, Caitlin Tipping, Cassie Dodd trying to carry the torch for the Volleyball. But they have to be better with the first ball, and likewise, once again, be excellent with their net defense.
All right, we had this long conversation with our up referee, Aidos Akhmetov, to the captains,
That's T4.
T4 and Michaela Stevens earlier. That was a very long conversation, and it's still ongoing.
I think
Right now.
before the serve,
Yeah,
they want those hands in that form, yeah, behind the head.
not. Okay, so they're trying to come up with a uniform formation.
Well, you know how protocol is in volleyball.
All right, we begin our third set with Vo Tim Kum Kwa, who is the one setting here for Team Vietnam in this semi-final matchup. And number one scorer of Team Vietnam.
Again, 64 points heading to this match. Number 3, Angel Canino is in the list. Emma Burton is also in the list, in the top 10. But so far, Emma Burton, a non-factor here after the first 2 sets. But Thuyen Nguyen, a big factor here for Vietnam, really, in this 2-set lead.
Cross-court kill. Speaking of scorers, they're going to need more from her if they want to stay alive here. 1-all, set 3.
Number 1 scorer at 91 points can only help out their offense if their defense will be much better, especially in terms of reception.
Dang. Will underhand it. Nguyen finds a crack in that wall.
This is the best blocking team, but they still have a hard time containing really the attack efficiency of Thuyen Nguyen, who's hitting about 60% or 70% today to be the leading scorer for Vietnam. Once again.
Stevens again trying to catch up with that set.
Good one-hand dig by Thuyen Nguyen.
Too low. Oh, they shouldn't allow that. That's a net block. 4 touches. That's Wang, Team Q Trin. Guilty. Sending it to the net. 2-all. Australia and Vietnam. Stipping continues to serve. 23-year-old Tipping sends it out.
Only time that Tipping did not score in double digits was against the Philippines in that 4-set loss. 21, 24, and 21, 27, and 34.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
But when her single digit was
against the Philippines at 9.
9, right?
9.
Yeah. Open.
Smart.
Oh, nobody taking. First ball, Stevens.
Look at the reaction of Coach Russell. That's been a weakness for Australia, their floor defense. And Vietnam able to solve the best blocking team right now.
I'm surprised Stevens did not pick up that ball. I know the instinct is for her to be
second ball.
Second. But it is really what we've observed in this tournament. Australia a bit slow-footed when it comes to these things.
The taller teams,
yeah,
really.
Yeah. And another overcooked cut shot by Kate Tipping.
Overshoots the mark. Early 3-point lead once again for Vietnam. And so far, it was a wire-to-wire win by Vietnam in that second set dominance. What a serve. Oh, they needed that.
Very much. It's Casey Hogan coming in to provide a point.
This is only the second time that Casey Hogan will be seeing action. DNP in games 1, 3, and 4 had 1 point versus the Philippines, though.
Good pass. Good hop there by Tran Tu Lin. By the way, she's got 11 points already.
Yes, the second best scoring option today.
Behind the
13,
15.
16, 27 points heading to this game. Because again, Vietnam has really shuffled its personnel.
That's behind 15 of Nguyen Thuyen.
And counting.
Dug by Stevens. That's back in Vietnam. Underhand rather from Dong. Hogan will just send it over easily. And Vietnam in system there. Who's going to get the second ball? Try again for the second ball put away. Nguyen. Doug. Long rally alert here in set number 3. Denied! And it is Australia that wins the long exchange.
That's the defense that's going to keep them afloat. Vietnam intent on finishing this match in 3. But Australia's blocking is going to be a vital element in their bid to win a set and extract 1 set from last year's Challenge Cup champions. Pipe play. Back row attack, this time from Thuyen Nguyen. Hide her, give her multiple touches, no problem. She'll find a way to score 16 in the match.
Anywhere from the court.
Anywhere. That's 80 points total. 64 in the first 4 games, 16 here this afternoon.
Stevens will open up. That's a very tight set.
Down by 2 sets, behind by 3 earlier. Can't afford those miscues at this stage of the match.
And a timeout will be called by Coach Russell.
That's an early one.
Game is getting away.
Let's stop for a reset, okay? There's literally nothing new to add. It's just about building on what we're doing there. That was a great rally before. We proved we can make those digs, right? Now the consistency in our side out and attack. That's really the game for us, all right? We know we've got block that can worry them and we can make the digs. We just got to build that consistency in our side out, okay? So starts with the pass, then back yourself in attack. There's still a few more opportunities to swing. Okay, give loud calls if the hitter's there. Yeah!
Vietnam doubles up Australia here in set number 3. As Coach Russell said, nothing new to discuss, just reiterating some reminders there. Trying to get positive outcomes from that timeout, and they do. Off that touch. See Hogan coming in with some impact off the bench.
Yes. One of the quickest, if not the quickest, for Australia, really. Defense was not yet set. Able to strike. Cutting a 4-point deficit to just a 3-point disadvantage here in set 3.
We're in cross court. Too fast, too strong. And Sarah Burton just could not slide quick enough.
The blockers were right there. The cross-court coverage was also present. But look at the trajectory of that ball.
Coverage there by Vietnam. Back to Nguyen. This time she goes down the line.
My goodness. Again, from the right flank, from the left wing, from the back row. Just can score with so much ease.
18 points for her.
82 points total.
Adlib. Great defense as usual from Team Vietnam. What will Stevens do? Activate Tipping, who sees on top of the net and goes for the sharp cross.
That's good news. Caitlin Tipping is in front. That also triggers back in Cassie Dodd. Two of the top scorers in the front line right now for the Balleroos, and that's a good sign.
Gara and Skip back serving. Off speed.
My goodness.
Deceiving the Volleroos for her 19th point.
And showing respect also the kind of block efficiency that Australia also has. With a smile to boot. Thuyen Nguyen. 10 points in their last win. Slight contact. Beats the double block.
Good first ball for Tipping. Ooh, did she get out of the way? Yes, she did. I thought it was going to bounce off of her back still.
Whatever happens, it's a big accomplishment for Australia to get into the Final Four after finishing in the 6th spot last year. Winning over the Philippines, their face-off for the 6th spot.
Good dodging skills there. A dodgeball player too. The shoot to the other side. But if you're in the venue, if you're in Rizal Memorial Coliseum, you will hear how different and how strong. It's like a gunshot, the way that contact sounds.
It's the same. It's every time. The constancy, the consistency, and the force that she delivers has been too tough for Australia so far to defend, unless she misses.
She is human. She
After
sends
all.
one to the net.
But they're still ahead by 5.
Can't
Make
afford.
that 4.
Can afford few errors here and there. Okay, tipping. Identifying an open spot there.
Understanding that Burton, the secondary libero, was not in the right spot. Excellent placement. First the misdirection, combination play, and then an angled tip. Tremendous shot placement coming from Vietnam.
An overpass gives Vietnam an opportunity to swing for their 14th point, 6-point lead. And they are 11 points away from the gold medal round.
Look at the blockers wipering from one end to the other simply because the slide play has always been an option for Vietnam to score as well.
Underhand rolling ball. Tipping was there to set it up. Hogan. Win pulls anywhere from the court.
Wipe along the rally. Again, a touch from the pipe. Back row play specialist. Doubling up right now. Up 7. Also ahead by 2 sets. Is T4 coming in?
We'll see.
That's out for Hogan.
That is out for Hogan. You're right. All above the blockers underneath the hit. 16-8. And V Tin Nu Yu is coming back for Tran Tu Ling. Even on the bench, there's some misdirection. We got misdirected by T4.
This is not a misdirection. This is the final timeout called by Australia because this set is slowly slipping away. And the match too. Down 8 here in set number 3.
Keep backing yourself, guys, all right? Still got nothing to lose on this. We want to work point by point, okay? So, move single side out, keep swinging hard and not bad, all right? The tips aren't going to work so well against this team. Let's make it work.
The family of Coach Jorge De Brito, always in attendance, of course, here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Their father trying to guide the Philippines into the gold medal round. It will not be easy against a team that has had success against the Philippines historically. Kazakhstan, the 32nd ranked team. That match will be at 7 p.m. Also on the Pilipinas Live app on One Sports and One Sports Plus.
There's Sana Anarkolova, the face of national team from
time.
Kazakhstan for the last 16 years. Who scored a lot against the Philippines the last time that we played them. Too many weapons, really. Now they go to the middle hitters.
And if I'm not mistaken, that last match was the one that NU Philippines represented us in the tournament. And that was the time that the NU team led by Solomon and pushed Team Kazakhstan
to 5 sets, I believe.
In the meantime, this match is really slipping away now as you see Coach Yen Tuan Kiet send in some more bench players now to try to finish off the Australian team, and that will be an overreach.
Almost a free point given up. How many new players right now seeing action? At least 3.
And the same will be done here.
Oh, the reigning best setter is inside right now.
Oh, okay, there you go. They're going to give her a little bit of a run. I think this is a warm-up for the next round.
Familiar face for Gia Morada de Guzman, of course. Someone they have faced in the Southeast Asian Games.
Injured herself prior to the Indonesia match in training.
And remember that Vietnam also sees action in the CV League, of which the Philippines also plays in. Another regional competition. They just have a notch that they can turn on anytime, really. They're all business today talking about Vietnam. Yesterday, they were 2 nights ago, 2 afternoons ago, they were taken to 4 sets by Indonesia.
They want to make history on their own by getting back-to-back championships.
That's Dang for you, working wonders again
In
defensively.
the AVC, and Thuyen Nguyen finishes off the rally with her 21st point.
And counting. Tipping has not had an outstanding scoring game. It's because their defense,
16 today.
not enough.
As a gift, given to Nguyen, 3 trin.
The first time that this edition was held in 2022, it was Hong Kong who won the title, followed by India, Malaysia, Uzbekistan, and Singapore in the 5th spot, wherein only 5 teams played. Last year, we had a total of 11 teams in action. Eventual winner was Vietnam, followed by Indonesia, Chinese Taipei, India, Iran, Australia, and the Philippines in that order.
Philippines was led by Faith Nisperos.
The only returning player, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, they get a block. That's worth 10 points, right, Coach Ronnie?
If only. How they wish, really.
But they reacted like it did.
Yes.
Like they got 10 points because it's such a big deal to block this
Correct.
player.
She went for a line shot against Tipping. Returns that to sender. That's the lead to 8. Make that 7.
Nguyen Tien now having a few errors, an attack error, a reception error. As a booming ace unloaded by Team Australia to try to delay what seems to be, for the Vietnam fans, the inevitable. .2013 is our score. 21 points for Thuyen Nguyen. Another good serve. Dang this time taking that reception. And the lefty hit by Nguyen Thi Tra Mai.
And Mai really played well against Indonesia, by the way.
Good first ball there. Zamet delivers. But a chance now. Good dig. Tipping. It's a bit short. It's a bit lower than what she wanted in terms of the set. She thought it dropped in. So Coach Russell will heed her look at the bench and try to challenge this one. That's usually lower than what Caitlin Tipping would like as a set. So we have a challenge here to try to delay this Vietnam march into the gold medal match. 18 points for Caitlin Tipping so far, 23 already for Thuyen Nguyen.
But better support offensively for Vietnam.
Ooh, that's out.
Matter of time here for Vietnam to nail the first seed in the Challenge Cup finals. Loser here meets also the team that will not win later between the Philippines and Kazakhstan.
22-13, misreceived again. Tipping will find a way anyway. This time she made sure that she flicked that wrist so that top spin will guide the ball down the corner.
One of the best here in the Challenge Cup. Look at that up and then tipping. Excellent target. Loves the lines, really.
Tipping trying to arrange the arms of her teammates again as they are trying to follow protocol here that is being called by our Kazakhstan up referee. Reverse and a block by Burton.
Might try to go for that offhand push. A lefty using her right. Still a sizable lead for Vietnam, which stands at 7 here in set 3.
In skip on deck. Dang receiving. Tien Nguyen with a cross-court kill. Ricochets back. Underhand set to Mai. The dive by Australia, but nowhere to go as Le Tan Thuy puts it away. They're going to call a net fault challenge. Australia will. He's probably thinking, looking at the officials, might as well.
She did not play in their last match versus Indonesia. Talking about Le. 9 points versus Kazakhstan, 6 versus Singapore, 4 versus Hong Kong. For a grand total of 19 points in 3 games.
Waiting in the wings, Team Philippines and Team Kazakhstan, the very popular Caitlin Tipping getting the applause as she's being shown here at the big screen. The number 56 team, Australia, against the number 38 team, Vietnam. Later on, Kazakhstan at number 32 against the Philippines that continues to climb the rankings also.
And the highest rank that we have been able to reach in the history of women's volleyball was number 50. So
That
we're
was in
closely,
80s, 83, was it?
we're closely getting to that spot.
And then we slid off to almost 100, plus 100 plus. There's no net touch. Widow was worth it, Coach Russell says. Have you ever seen, even in any other international competition, Coach Russell get a yellow card?
Probably not in his lifetime. One of the more amiable coaches that we have.
That's the question I'm going to ask him. That's our Kazakhstan referee, Aidos
was close to the mid ball. I will whistle it.
Doesn't have to do with the ball and not the setter. If the ball goes across the plane of the window.
Yeah. It must be close to the playing.
No, it has to be over.
No. It's almost like crossing the it's almost like crossing. How to say it in English? Fucking out. It's almost like crossing, so that's why she's put it here.
Yes,
But
but
she was.
it wasn't a cross. So
She was there. If she was jumping or she was hiding the ball like this.
Is
I
there
will
any way to
whistle it.
play back? Because I think she did jump for it.
No, she didn't. She didn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure about that. I'm looking at that.
Okay.
Lengthy conversation there with Aidos Akhmetov from Kazakhstan and the captain, Caitlin Tipping. And we'll award the point to Team Vietnam, 23-15. But conversation between Coach Russell and Kate still going on because she's relaying what our up referee was talking about. But Aidos saying we're ready to play. And Coach Russell will just accept. 2 points away from the gold medal round. Over received.
Again, the quickness factor, the agility, and then the vast winning experience that Vietnam possesses. An 11-time Southeast Asian Games silver medalist, 4th placers in the 2022 Asian Games.
9 match points now for Team Vietnam.
82 minutes and counting. The semifinal match.
Tipping says, not yet.
Unbelievable performance for Caitlin Tipping, really. Bright spot for Australia in this tough match that they have played against Vietnam.
It's 20 points for her.
Again.
Good serve. That will bounce out. And that means Vietnam still on course to defending their AVC championship. Try to go for back-to-back. This team with the average age of 25 will wait for an opponent. It'll take a few hours for them to find out. I suggest they watch the match too, if only for entertainment purposes and scouting purposes.
They will for sure.
Congratulations to Vietnam, who will go to the gold medal round. Of course, Australia not out of it yet. They will play for the bronze.
That'll be tomorrow.
Try to find out
in the 4 p.m. match.
Yeah, they will try to find out who the opponent is later on. Tomorrow being the last day of this 7-day tournament, the 2024 AVC Challenge Cup for women. We'll take a break. We will be back to wrap this baby up. A straight sets win by the defending champions, 25-21, 25-19, 25-16. The confirmation of this sweep by Team Vietnam, the defending champions, back in the gold medal match against a very game and very popular team, Australia, here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum.
Australia was still able to register 11 kill blocks. They are the best blocking team, averaging close to 15 blocks per contest. But against the number 1 attacking team, Vietnam's offense was better than Australia's number 1, reception number 2, against the blocking efficiency of the Belarus. And eventually, that told heavily against Australia. The numbers that will tell you that Truy Nguyen, together with the rest of Vietnam, in terms of being the number 1 offensive team, was too tough for Australia to defend. And look at the number of blocks, plus 10 Australia, but still not enough to diffuse that plus 16 advantage of Vietnam in terms of attack points. And then in the ace count, that really was a big factor that really took a lot away from the offensive outbursts of Australia that they needed to match up against Vietnam. And look at Vietnam, 9 errors in nearly an hour and a half. That's just 3 errors per set. That simply means seamless play, very clean, very disciplined. Effort coming from Vietnam all match long, and they will be rewarded.
And they're led by the 24 points
by the
unstoppable Nguyen Thuyen for Team Vietnam, who right now I believe is with Doreen Soy Baguio.
Thank you, Woman Coach Ronnie. I am here with our best player of the game, Vic Thuyen, and Vietnam's team manager, Chow, to translate for us. Congratulations on the win. Australia had the height advantage in this game, but even with that, you were able to convert your attacks, not to mention your efficiency from the service line. What can you say about the effort, the smartness that the team showed tonight versus a tall team like Australia?
Hôm nay đội Úc rất là cao và có cái chiều, có cái tầm trắng rất là cao. Đội Việt Nam phải làm sao để mà vượt qua khỏi cái tầm trắng đó, rồi cái cách tấn công của mình như thế nào?
Về đội Úc thì tầm trắng khá là cao, nên là đội Việt Nam cũng sử dụng cái chiến thuật để mà khắc chế được hàng trắng cao như thế.
She said Vietnam apply their own tactics to overcome the tremendous height advantage of Australian blocking.
Vietnam has the chance to defend your AVC title tomorrow. And of course, you've gained several Filipino fans here in the Philippines. What can we expect from you, Vic Thuyen, and from the rest of the team tomorrow in the gold medal match?
Bạn ấy nói là ngày mai Việt Nam sẽ có cơ hội để mà bảo vệ cái chức vô địch của mình. Bạn nghĩ về sao về cái
khá là căng thẳng và hấp dẫn, và Việt Nam cũng sẽ có cơ hội gọi là có thể bảo vệ được chức vô địch, thì bọn em cũng sẽ cố gắng.
But she said the final going to be a tremendous match. It's going to be very difficult, but Vietnam will try their hardest to defend the title.
And we're very excited to see that. Congratulations again, Vic Twin, Team Manager Chow, and to the rest of the Vietnam team. We will see you guys tomorrow. But for now, we send it over to you, Women Coach Ronnie.
Thank you very much, Doreen Suay Baguio. Tomorrow it is for them, trying to become back-to-back champions in the 2024 AVC Challenge Cup. They're in, and now they wait for Philippines versus Kazakhstan. While Australia also does a little bit of waiting. They need to find out who they're going to prepare for the bronze medal match.
And of course, in the morning edition, we will have 2 more matches to see which teams will end up in this particular spot. India faces off against Iran, while Hong Kong squares off against Indonesia. But of course, the marquee matchups will be at 4 p.m. and 6 and 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
Here.
For the bronze, of course, and for the gold.
Rizal Memorial Coliseum is where it's at and where it has been.
It's a date.
This last 6 days, 6 of 7 great days here for this competition called the 2024 AVC Challenge Cup in Manila, Philippines. For Doreen Suay Baguio, Coach Ronnie Magsano, I'm Boom Gonzalez. Stand by. An hour and a half from now, it is Philippines versus Kazakhstan on Pilipinas Live app, One Sports and One Sports Plus.